Hello everybody, it's 19 degrees in the morning, it's 10 to 9 as well, so it's still fairly early before it gets too hot. I've been growing plants for 50 odd years now, and you know, I know the difference between a pea and a parsnip, so to speak. But the one thing that really excites me, you probably know this, is I love sowing seeds. When you sow your seeds, and you know, from a tiny little piece of fleck of dust, almost of nothing, a beautiful foxglove will grow. Or from something which looks like a flattened baked bean, you can have a pumpkin, and that pumpkin can be anywhere north of £100. It can be just mind-blowing, and I love that journey from the seed to the harvest and watching the plants grow. And as I say, I've done this so many times that even now I still get excited by it. And I've grown things many different ways, but there is one branch of gardening which I've never really strayed into, and that's hydroponics. And I'm not going to stray into that. I'm not interested in all these aeration pumps and water pumps and different. I've seen it in operation, I've seen people use it, I've seen it online, I've seen it in TV programs. It's not really for me, setting all that up and monitoring and maintaining it. But there is another method that you can use which sort of crosses between what I already know and the hydroponics, and it's called the Kratky System. Now, I have seen this before, never paid it much attention until recently when I got involved with the fertigation, which is what I'm doing in a test tunnel at the back with all those tomatoes, watering and feeding at the same time, which is something I've always done anyway with my tomatoes. But I've done it in a slightly different way this year, and it's all down to one man really, and his methods and his enthusiasm for growing, which is similar to mine, and that's Glenn, and I think it's Glenn Salt. And I will put a link in the description to Glenn. He's known on Instagram as Salt and Peppers, and I'll put a link on the screen now and underneath in the description. Please go over and follow him, and you can learn and see what he's doing with plants. It's pretty stunning stuff from a guy who's only had that account going really for a couple of months. I mean, when he really gets going on it, you're all going to learn something. But anyway, I'm going to set off a couple of Kratky systems today to try. I'm going to use my interpretation of the method. I'll explain as I go along what I know so far, and I don't know all of it. I don't profess to know all of it. I know enough to get me going. I know enough for me to trial it out and see what I think about it. So that's what we're going to get on with today. So this Kratky system hasn't been around that long. I think it was 2009 that the guy, is it Bernard Kratky? I can't quite remember, but he wrote a paper about this method. And essentially, although it's not quite hydroponics, because with that you need all the pumps, air stones and water circulation, electricity, this you just need a tub, coloured tub. You don't want it to see through because you're encouraging nasties to grow. You want a net pot to grow your plant in, and you put a hole in the top. Now people will be thinking you have the liquid in here all the way up here, and you'd be thinking, well, the plant needs oxygen. Well, this is the beauty of the system. As the roots grow out of this and into the solution and start using it, it creates a damp, humid void in there. As the water level drops, it fills with air, so the plant gets everything it needs from this, and it's essentially maintenance free. So you put your pots into your holes, which I'm going to make in a minute, and just set it and forget it near enough. Just look at it now again, make sure everything's doing okay, which is pretty much what I'll be doing this year, because I want to monitor it and see how this whole thing works for me. You know, what I can get away with this size tub. Do I need to get bigger ones for next year? Am I going to do it next year? So as I say, it's just a test and a trial for me to get involved in and to try this. And the solution in here, because I've been using the master blend for the trials in the rear tunnel, I will use the master blend mix for this. With the plants I'm growing in this one in particular, are leafy plants that I'm going to be growing some herbs in them. They don't need a very strong solution, so it's not expensive to run either on this one, so we'll get cracking on with it. So this one's got 4 of the wire baskets in. I'll just move that to one side, and I've put a solution in, and if we measure it, it's around 1.4, 1.6 on the EC scale. That's a good strongish solution, and I'm growing herbs in this one. Now this one's only got the 2 wire baskets in, and the plants I'm putting in here will need more feed. So this one's measuring quite high up, 2.6, 2.8. Well, this is the reason why I bought this truncheon meter. I knew I was going to need it for other things. What I have here are 2 basil. There's basil and 2 parsley plants. And I need to clean these. There's no soil in this system at all. So I gently need to tease these roots out, and then I'll shake the soil off, and then I'll actually wash the roots as well to remove it. If you're gentle, you can do it without breaking too many roots. So that's now ready for washing. There we go. It's a good healthy root system, so hopefully this will stand up well. So I'll get these done, and then we'll take you inside again. So now I've got a couple of these parsley plants, and you can see they're washed off. There's still a couple of little bits of humus in there, which I'm not going to pull out. They'll probably just damage the root. And in here I've got this bucket of clay pebbles. You can buy these specially for this, and you just give them a wash, get rid of some of the dust that happens whilst they're in the bag, and you're ready to go. So the idea is you put some of these pebbles in. I mean, this is totally weird because I've never done this before myself, and it anchors your plant in the basket. Because remember, you want the roots to go into the water, and that's it, and that's how you plant them. I mean, it's totally bizarre for me because I've never done it before, and then just sink that into the water, and the job's a good one. We're done. So now hopefully that will just grow away as it's supposed to. The roots will grow into the water. I suspect there'll be a bit of a sulk phase, as there is when you pot old plants on, and it might look a bit bedraggled for a week or two until it finds its feet so far, or so to speak, or its feet finds its pace and gets using the water in the reservoir underneath. So hopefully I haven't gone too badly wrong, and that will do. And I'll just get the 2 basil plants now in the back. Actually, I might do it like this. Changed my mind already. There we go. So I'll have the 2 basil plants down this end, and the 2 basil plants there, and the 2 parsleys. So we'll see how that does. And on this second one, with just the 2 net baskets, I had a melon that on the left there that I didn't manage to get planted in the ground. I pruned off some of the side shoots, whacked that in. I'm going to see what that does, and a dwarf French bean there, and we'll see how these do. If this is your first time here, Green Side Up is dedicated to helping gardeners of all levels, ability and experience. So remember to subscribe, and then I can help you too. And it's the big red button just down here. and it's free. But that's it for today. That I thought might be very interesting for some people. I'm not suggesting for 1 second you go out and get all the gear and start copying me, not copying me, start doing what I'm doing and having a go at it. I'm just having a little trial, see where I can go from there. I'll get some feedback, I'll watch and observe the plants growing, and we'll go from there. But for today, that's it. Look after yourselves, everyone, especially in this heat. Stay safe, and I'll see you all very, very soon. Ta-ra now.